have reflections of that in other languages and in other cultures. Even in Arabic, a poet says, speaking again of good company and the effect and influence that friends can have on a person's character, thinking, and overall behaviour and attitude and personality. The poet says, لا تسأل عن الرجل واسأل عن قرينه فكل قرين بالمقارن يقتدي. He says, do not ask about the man himself, rather ask about his companion. For every companion follows he whom he associates with and whom he accompanies. What the poet is saying is exactly what we would say in English: show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. You don't need to hear something directly from a person. You don't need to be made aware of his thoughts, of his thinking, of his mentality, of his personality, of his character, or in this case of her character. You don't need to be made aware of a person's character, her thinking, her mentality, her attitude, her thoughts, her personality from herself, by her speaking about herself. No. At times it's sufficient just to look at and observe the company that she keeps, and that will say a lot about this individual. Just like some people, they are of the opinion that you can read a woman through her dress sense. Observe the clothes that she wears. Observe her fashion. Observe her dress sense. And just by looking at that, you can read the person, you can say a lot about the person, you can learn a lot about the person. Well, even more so, it's a fact. Observe a person's company. Look at who this woman associates with, talks to, and befriends. And her friends and the company that she keeps will reveal a lot about her. And this isn't just an adage, a maxim, a proverb, or a saying full of truth in Arabic and in English and in other languages and cultures. Most importantly for us as Muslims, this is actually a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in a hadith recorded by Imam Abu Dawood and Imam Tirmidhi in their Sunan. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Al-mar'u ala din khalilih, falyanzur ahadukum man yukhalil." He says, a man is upon the deen of his companion and friend. Therefore let every one of you observe whom he is befriending. Who are his friends? What is the company that he keeps? Subhanallah. Now, I didn't translate the word deen for the simple reason, again, deen is one of those unique Arabic words which has many different shades of meaning. And all of these meanings are incorporated into this one word. Deen can mean not just religion, as we commonly know. Deen can mean lifestyle, way of life, conduct, pattern, law. All of these meanings are included in the word deen. That's why I left it as deen. Prophet ﷺ says, a man is upon the deen of his friend. Therefore let every one of you observe who is his friend and whom does he befriend. Whose company does he keep? The Prophet ﷺ is, in his unique eloquence, saying what we know to be true in everyday life and what we know to be true in these maxims and adages and these proverbs that are almost universal and can be found in every language and culture. That a person can be read like a book, and a person's character and mentality and personality can all be revealed just by observing the company that that person, he or she, keeps. And that's exactly what the Prophet ﷺ says here. Why does he say that a man is upon the deen of his friend? Why doesn't the Prophet ﷺ say that a man is upon the deen which he develops himself? Why is he upon the deen of his friend? This is it. As I said in the beginning, we totally underestimate the effect of company. We disregard it. Company, good or bad, is so influential, so effective, that company, good or bad, for the better or for the worse, can actually change and utterly transform, even radically transform a person's lifestyle, thinking, mentality, personality, perception, outlook on life, views, character, behaviour, everything. And this is more true for women. I'm not being chauvinist or misogynist, or I'm not being biased. Allow me to explain. Biologically and emotionally, women are different from men, and especially the emotional part. Women being very emotional, more emotionally fluid than men. Women are soft by nature, or they should be soft by nature. Women should be soft by nature, and being soft, they absorb more. They take in more, and as a result, they are more greatly and more easily influenced by external factors than men. Now, that doesn't make men better. It's just the way men are. Men can be at times quite resilient. Others would say obstinate and stubborn. But men can be resilient in thought and in character. But for women especially, they are very easily influenced by company. And this matters. The company that a woman keeps, the friends that she has, can transform her for the better or for the worse. And that's exactly what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. A man is upon the deen of his friend. A man is upon the lifestyle, the thinking, the mentality, the character, the way of life, and even on the religion of his friend. Company is so influential that people at times change their religion because of company. People can become kafir and a disbeliever from Islam because of company, and people often embrace Islam because of good company. It works both ways. Company is so influential that, like I said earlier, it can radically transform even a person's thinking and mentality, their whole way of life. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his teachings and Allah in the Quran have both told us that we should be mindful and aware of the company that we keep. Always adopt good and pious company. Shun and avoid evil company and bad company in any way whatsoever. And solitude, being alone, being lonely, being in seclusion, being distant and away from others, even though this may be burdensome on the soul, on one's heart, and even on the mind. As the Prophet ﷺ says, despite all of this, being lonely, being alone, being isolated and being in solitude is better than bad company. But the best option is to adopt good company, to be with the truthful, to be with the pious. Now, why does the Prophet ﷺ say that a person is upon the religion, is upon the way of life, is upon the lifestyle, the deen of his friend? Therefore, let every one of you observe closely who are his friends, whose company does he keep? Because company affects all of us. We are very easily affected by the environment, by external influences, by other people's speech, by other people's behaviour. We observe something and we are easily influenced. And this starts from a very young age. In fact, even during pregnancy, the fetus in the womb of the mother is affected by the surroundings and the environment of the external world, wherever her mother is and wherever her mother goes. At times, and this has been scientifically proven, fetuses in the very early stages of pregnancy and throughout the pregnancy, they are in one way or the other affected even by the sounds that reach them deep in the womb and the stomach of the mother from the outside world. So this influence of the environment and of other people begins with the very inception of life itself. And it lasts till a person dies, till they enter their grave. We are very easily influenced by our surroundings. In fact, as I was explaining earlier today, if we look at the ahadith, the Prophet ﷺ has told us that we are so easily affected by the environment that we don't even realise. And in the ahadith, in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ has given various examples. One example is of the perfume seller and of the blacksmith. Prophet ﷺ explains in one hadith, this is a general meaning of the hadith, that when a person enters a perfume seller's shop. Even if the person doesn't apply perfume or purchase any perfume, the mere act of going into the shop and then emerging again will leave a fragrant smell on the person or on the clothes of this individual. And going into